Welcome back. We are here with our friend John Townsend. We are having so much fun, as we always do. We are talking about people fuel, which I love. And we were just talking about your C's, the C's involved with people fuel. Maybe you can recap that one in this, and also how to draw boundaries with people and ask for what you need. And I would love some practical tips going into this episode on how do you do that? How do you balance that? How do you balance getting what you need? Like, now we know what they are. Let's talk about, like, how do you balance getting what you need?
Before we do that, I recently actually was able to teach. Dr. Townsend founded the online Townsend Institute for Leadership and Counseling at Concordia University in Irvine. So for people who want to learn more, after they read People Fuel or Boundaries, that he has an organizational leadership, executive coaching and counseling program, and has students literally all over the world. So, John, how can they learn more about the Townsend Institute?
TownsendInstitute.com. We're really excited about what's going on, Daniel. You're one of our top fellows. In other words, we have experts, people like you, Ken Blanchard, the Gottmans, and there are hundreds of students around the country where they're either getting a master's in counseling or coaching or leadership. And we're highly relational, and we try to blur the distinction between online and reality, because people think, oh, online degree, I'll sit in the kitchen with my laptop and my bunny slippers and my cocoa, and it's not like that. Our professors and our people are very connected, very video friendly. They want to get to know you. So we make it a very relational experience. And people are getting great jobs now. We've been around for 3 years, and people are calling back saying, I'm at the top of my job. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited.
Excellent. Okay, more on People Fuel.
I like it. So tell us how they balance.
Tana, you asked the right question, which was, what's some practical ways we can make sure I'm getting my needs met? Let me review what the 7 C's are, and then just give you a quick idea. There are 7 categories of relationships, from very giving, relationally nutrient-rich relationships to more of the relationships that are draining. You got to understand. First is coaches. Coaches, either they're pro bono or you hire them, but they know business, or they know family, or they know self-help, or they know working out. And they're very important for you. The second is comrades. We all need what I call in the book a life team. And the life team is 3 to 10 people that know everything about you. They know the messy stuff. They know the hurts. They know the failures. And they don't care. And I wish you guys could see this. Tana just rubbed.
He's more than my comrade, but you're my person.
Yes. That's so wonderful. It's so cool that you guys can rub each other's shoulders, and she can also kick you under the desk at the very same time.
In the same podcast.
I just got thrown under the bus.
In the same that's true love. So we all need 3 to 10 deep comrades that know everything about us and love us, and they'll tell us the truth, but they would never judge us. Thirdly, we need good casuals. Your next door neighbor, somebody whose kids play soccer with your kids, and you just hang out with them. You go watch TV. They're just nice people. We need positive people. The 4th category is colleagues, because we all need hot worker bees around us that are relationally based and smart. The 5th category is care. We're called to care. The 3 of us are very fortunate. We have been really fortunate in our lives. We've had a lot of struggles, but we've also had a lot of victories. Mm-hmm. So we care deeply, and all of us, the 3 of us, have people that we commit to who could never pay us back. Mm-hmm. There are people in developing countries, or people you're mentoring, or people you're encouraging. We need care relationships. And the next one is what's called chronics. And I said in the last podcast, I'm from the South originally, in California with you guys, but in the South we call them bless their heart people. Bless their heart, they messed up their marriage again. Bless their heart, they lost their job. Bless their heart, their kids smoking dope. And they kind of never learn, because they just don't learn. And so they're nice people, but they're kind of a drain. And the 7th one is contaminants. And they're bad people. They're toxic. They want to divide your marriage. They want to divide you. They want to divide your family, your organization. You got to stay away from them. Most people have too many care, chronic, and contaminants. Now, you're always going to care about people, but I know people who are on too many boards, and they're flying around to too many organizations, and they're doing way too much service, and their family's going, what's your name? Sometimes we've got to put them back to care. Chronics, you can't have that many in your life. I've had some chronics. When I wrote the book, I realized I had somebody I was meeting with every 2 weeks for Starbucks. I made it let's make it 2 or 3 times a year because they weren't doing anything I said anyway. Chronics, set boundaries, and you got to have more of the coaches and comrades. So the most practical thing, here's the number one practical thing we got from the book, is if you want to right size this so you don't have too many of the drains, you must first beef up the coaches and comrades. You can't prune back the bottom until you have the strength and the energy and the positivity to say,
I like that.
Yeah. So find that coach or coach. I've got 3 coaches now, and I'll be coached the rest of my life.
See, me
paying
too.
for it.
I'm like that. I love coaches. I go to seminars. I do all sorts of things because
you know what the research is?
I have mentors.
Harvard Business Review says that your coaches will bring you an average of 300% of what you pay for it. And that's been my experience.
Yep.
It's a good investment for me to be coached in emotional life, spiritual life, business life, all that stuff. So get a coach. If you don't have any money, go to a church and say, do you have people who can mentor me? But there's people who can mentor. And secondly, get that life team together. Get a few people around and say, I got to be intentional about my growth. And you're a good person. We've got good values. And I want you to be a person that goes through life with me and supports me. That will help you start right sizing. The number one thing.
So I love that. So 2 things popped in my head. Number one, and I actually learned this from some of my work going through therapy, and boundaries, because you talk a lot. I mean, your book Boundaries is amazing. And I am certain that you go through a lot of boundary work in this book just because I know you. So I learned this, that when I'm helping someone, whether they're care or chronic, whatever, I don't have contaminants in my life. I am good at getting rid of them now. But when I have a care or a chronic in my life that I have chosen to help for whatever reason, I have a rule. I'm not going to be more invested than you are. That's just going to be the way it is. I need to see you being more invested than I am. I will be here for you. You've got to show me you're invested. I have the same rule with my daughter. I'm not going to be more invested than you are. So if I'm doing something to help you, you've got to be invested or I pull out. That's it.
You know, we call it in business, do you have skin in the game?
Yes, they've got to have skin in the game. So I do that whether it's nutrition, whether it's parenting, whether it's helping someone. That's one thing. The other thing you said that was so important, the mentoring, people think they have to pay a lot of money for coaches. Now, I love going to seminars. For me, skin in the game when you're at a certain level might be money, but it may be, because it's important then, and you've got skin in the game. But for some people, and you don't have to have that. Skin in the game AA is built on that premise, right? You've got a sponsor. They hold you accountable. It's really important and it's free. So there are free mentors.
The Brain Warriors Way podcast is coaching.
There's all kinds of ways to do it.
This is a form of coaching right now, what you guys are doing.
Right.
Yes.
It's important.
So I love what you said. The first practical step is to get more coaches and comrades. So at some point you have to inventory the people in your life. And is there a way in People Fuel for people to do that?
Yeah, because everybody calls after they read the book and they go, now what do I do? 1-800-FRIENDS, how do I do this? And so I put together a system in the book that's very, very practical. I tell it, look, if you don't know who the people are in your life and who would be a good life team member, do this. We all go to Microsoft Outlook contacts. We all have contacts. And there's somewhere between, I think, 700 and 5,000 contacts in your contacts list. And I've done this to myself because I wanted to see if it worked. It does. Give yourself like an hour and a half, and just go through that thing and think, who would be a really cool person? I need 3 to 10 people that would have shared values and have a lot of grace for me and never judge me, but kick me in the butt when I need it, and listen to me. And can they be vulnerable? And can I be vulnerable? And all this. And you go through the list. Oh yeah, I haven't seen her for a while. She'd be good. And then, oh, he's in federal prison. Maybe that's a bad idea. So you go through the whole thing. And at the end of the time, you've got, say 25 names. And you go, oh my gosh, they'd be good potentials. And then you go on the recruiting process. And here's how you do it. You call the first one up that looks good. And you say, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. Let's grab lunch. And you grab lunch and you have a great lunch, but you do this. You take one small, vulnerable step. Just one, not a big one. Not like I'm suicidal or I don't have a life. Small one, like, our kid's acting up and it's kind of frustrating. Or I'm kind of, my spouse and I are kind of upside down right now. It's kind of a bad season, or my job's kind of struggling. They're not huge vulnerable, but vulnerable. And that person will do one of 3 things that will tell you if they make it to the next lunch, if they qualify. First thing, they'll go, The first response will be like this. Well, the weather around here is just amazing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What are they telling you guys?
They don't want to do it.
I can't go there. I'm just going to change the subject. Okay, nice person, not the life team. The second response is, oh, your kid's acting up. Okay, here's 4 books for you to read. By the way, are you waking up early in the morning? Do you hug your child? Have you set good boundaries? Are you playing with your child? Have you gone to this conference? And here's three more things you want to do. What they're telling you is, I'm an advice monster. I can't connect with you. I'm just going to give you advice. Nice person, but not life team. The third response is the money, where they put down their fork and they look at you with these eyes of caring and they go, I had no idea about Susie. I'm so sorry. I love your kid. So how can I help? What's it feel like? It must be overwhelming. What's going on? And they have the capacity to move toward the negative. They're not afraid of the negative. They move toward it. That qualifies them for the next lunch. So you do it again, like a couple weeks later, and again. And by this time, they're opening up more. And about the 4th time you make the pitch and you say, I'm in a stage in my life where I'm getting intentional about personal growth. I haven't really focused and intentional. I love you, and I love how we hang out, and the way I trust you, and I hope that I'm helpful to you. Would you like to meet together every couple weeks, once a month, every week, and just talk about life and share things that we can't share with others? And that's how you build. It takes probably 4 months. I've taken CEOs through this of major billion-dollar corporations because they didn't have these relationships. All they had was their spouse and their dog. So they had their lab because their lab loves them and their spouse. And I've said, go do that because you're in a deficit. You don't have enough people fuel in your life. And they come back and they go, 90% of the people said easily, I'm in. I don't have this either. I don't have a place to go to be vulnerable. All I got is my spouse and my dog, and I'm overwhelming both of them. I'm in, and everything changed. That's the practice.
So good.
Yeah.
All right, stay with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about setbacks and resilience and how to stay charged. We're with Dr. John Townsend, the author of People Fuel. Boundaries, you can get them everywhere.
If you're enjoying the Brain Warriors Way podcast, please don't forget to subscribe so you'll always know when there's a new episode. And while you're at it, feel free to give us a review or 5-star rating, as that helps others find the podcast.
If you're considering coming to Amen Clinics or trying some of the brain healthy supplements from BrainMD, you can use the code podcast10 to get a 10% discount on a full evaluation at amenclinics.com or a 10% discount on all supplements at brainmdhealth.com. For more information, give us a call at 855-978-1363.